GM everyone. So yeah, today I think last was it Monday we learned about monitoring using Grafana and other monitoring tools to monitor the performance of our node. So today we'll be going to practical, but we will not be going into setting up these things ourselves. So what we'll be looking at today is actually um, making use of tools, which one of it, I think subsequently we are about ending. So this is fourth week, right? So the fifth and sixth week, we'll be having more of like tools that have made it a bit easier. But then every other workshop we'll be having probably assignments would be on using those documentation, Nethermind, Grafana, Teku, Bosu, and every other thing. So today we'll be looking at using Stereum. Let me share my screen and also bring up the slide. So today we'll be looking at Stereum. This is like a software tool where you don't need to like play with your SSH and terminal, just like what we did in the previous class. So today we'll be looking at how to use Stereum to set up our node and also monitor our node using tools like Grafana. And today will be a full-fledged setup from installation of execution client, consensus client. We'll also going into validator client, create our validator keys, and then also stake using either Holiski or Hoodie testnet. So today will be an end-to-end practical. So permit me, I'm trying to log into. So today, this is what we have Stereum. So as soon as you get to stereum.net, you can just navigate to the download section. So here you can see that of Windows, Mac, and Linux. So I'm on Linux. All I just need to do is to click on download. As you can see, it opens up and I can click on save. So this would install the GUI, which is the application for me to use and run Stereum. So that is working fine for us. Next, what we need to do is let's check. Okay, it's almost done. So this is the documentation. You can also follow through their guides if you wish to get that, and then you get to see how to set up these things yourself using the documentation. But after this video, after this class, you would see that it's very easy. It's not difficult to set up your execution, consensus, and validator client all in one go. And this would probably sync in less than 20 minutes, just like what we did with Red. If you were in the, I think last week where we made use of Red, we saw how it synced very, very fast. So while that is running, let me have my terminal open, zoom into this a bit. Yep. So as you can see, our installation is done. So let's cd into downloads, cd into downloads. Yep, when you ls, you can see what we just downloaded. Where did you go into? Let's check the folder. Okay, it's here, Stereum launcher. Let's now check that. As you can see, we have Stereum launcher. So for Linux users, this is what we usually do to run this application. You just run this command and then Stereum launcher. So we have made it now executable. So all we just need to do is to /Stereum. Then when you hit enter, you would get an error. So for me, this is how I run mine. I just add --no-sandbox. So this is how you spin up your Stereum GUI. So as you can see, this is the step. So here is our Stereum GUI. For me, I already have Stereum installed, but I'm using the one we just downloaded. So these are the servers we have. So we would not be using this. We would actually set up our own. So let's get our server credentials. Let me get that by running this command. Yes. Good. So we can let this, don't close this tab. All you just need to do is to minimize that and have it run in the background. So next, what do you need? The server name now. For us, ours is called Osha, the IP address. So let's get that. Where are you? So the port is port 22, which is what I have here, 22, and then the server name, which is what we have here. Okay, this server name, you could call it anything. This is the username, which is this, Osha, and then the password. Yeah, so I won't actually be saying that. So this is how you get into your server using Stereum. So you have your IP address, the port. You can give this any name, and then this is your username for the system which you actually use to SSH. So let me show you a sample of that. Let me show you a sample of it. So this is it. If you remember, this was what we actually sent to you. Something like this. Something like this. This was, so this is it. Something like this. So we SSH dash P, then the port, the username, and then the IP address. So that is the same thing you would actually do here. So for those of you that actually got yours without any port, what you would actually use here, the default port is port 22. So you just have 22 there. But for us, we have actually changed that. So all you just need to do is to say port 2222, and then you have your username and your password. So we can now log in. Let's call this, let's make this caps log and log in. Good. So as you can see, we have now logged in into our server. Oh, I need to enable password sudo. Good. I like the way we're saying all this in real time. So this is what I need to do to enable what? Passwordless sudo. So if you don't know what that is, you can copy that and go to your browser and paste that. All you just need to do is to add, how do I do this? Then you search for it. You would actually get a command for enabling passwordless sudo. So we can do that here. Let's SSH into the server. Clear. And now we have also SSH into the server. So we want to get rid of this. We want to enable passwordless sudo. So we can do this. I've actually searched for it on the net. I got sudo v sudo, put in the password, hit enter, and all you just need to do is to scroll down, and I think here, admin, let's see. Let's see, permit me to just copy this and also search. So this should be where we would actually enable that. So I need to copy this and come down a bit. Sorry, let me check that again. Let me copy this. So these are some of the things you would encounter. So this is it, and let's copy that. And yeah, so I think All I need to do is this. I actually found the command. So let's do this. So we just say paste Pele and then paste this, Control X, yes, and save. Then we can get rid of this, open that again, and yeah, let it show up. So this is what we have. Our server name again. So let's just for sure. Let's exit this. Let's copy this. Copy. Paste that here, and we have 2222. This is the username, and let's just put in the password and log in. Oops, that was not fixed. So let's SSH into that again. Put in the password. Go down. To do is copy this. Let's put in this. So I think with this, so we can now log out. And yes, let's go in. Yeah, good. So we have been able to fix that. So what I was meant to use was the name of this same server, which is this. This was what I was meant to use. So I was actually making use of mine. Now that we have this, this is what you get by running Stereum launcher. So we can start with one-click installation or custom installation, or you need to import your configuration if you have one. But let's start with a new installation. So all we just need to do is to click, select the network. Let's go on Holisky testnet. Now we need to select either Lido CSM, OBOL, SSV. We have actually talked about Lido CSM, but currently Holisky is a bit down on Lido CSM. So we'll go with staking and next. Now this is where you select your execution client. So I'm moving a bit fast, please. You can always stop me at any point in time and then
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
go back and
It's okay.
explain.
It's
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, yeah. Sorry for asking this question. I want to play before asking because as in initially before we started the call, my internet was lagging, so I want to understand which tool we are talking about here. Stereum.
Okay, Stereum is also a tool. Initially, you remember what we were making use of was directly the documentation for setting up execution client, consensus client, and your validator client, right? So Stereum kind of makes it easy for you to be able to have these things by clicking on a user interface. As you can see, we are not running any command. All we are just doing is selecting, and then it gets to do all that command we were actually doing on your behalf. So you don't need to have all those terminal skills and all that. So this is what Stereum
Oh,
would actually set up your node, manage it, show you a user interface. So all you just need to do is to keep clicking.
okay. So as in Stereum is just like a tool that is abstracting the command line interface with the graphics interface, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So what we are doing now, we are trying to set up. So with those credentials we sent to you, if you have this, you can just go on just the way we did. We SSH into it, and then we are to select our own execution client. So this is it. We have execution client, which is Bosu, consensus client, Teku, and validator client, Teku. So this is a nice combo. But if you wish to change it, you can just select, click on it, and then change it to the one you like. So for me, I like this combo. This is Bosu and Teku, validator, Prometheus, Grafana. So this is what we'll be using to manage our node. All these are for managing your node, just like what you learned on Monday. So with these tools, we'll be able to monitor our node, get notification, and yeah, view these things in real time. This is what we have. This is where it would be installed. So after this, I could decide to wipe this installation by deleting this folder. What next? All we just need to do, if you're okay with your consensus client, execution client, consensus client, validator, all you just need to do is to click on next. And now it's now asking for this, it would sync from Genesis, but there's a lot of mathematics into this. So for this, we would be selecting where do we want to sync from? Is it Itstaker, EF, beacon state info, lodestar? Which one should we go with? Which one? Let's go with Itstaker. So we can sync from that, or you can paste in the URL you want. So let's just go with Itstaker. So we'll be syncing from Itstaker now, and all we just need to do is to click on next. So this is all what you have done. If you could remember those processes of copying those command line where you selected your consensus execution, it's pretty much the same thing. Just you have a beautiful UI, a GUI for that. So this is our path, the execution path. So this is it, where everything will be stored. So let me also take a screenshot of that so that I could just delete that after the class. So as you can see, we have everything set. We can now go forward. So it's now installing every other thing and running those commands for you. So while this is running, let's now get our validator key. If you notice all the workshop we have been having, you haven't like staked your 32-it. So all what you were doing, you were learning how to set up your execution and consensus client. Now, while this is running, let's get our validator key. Now, I would have that run in the background and bring this up. Where are you? Good. So now we are set. We now want to get our validator key. You want to generate your validator key for you to be able to stake your 32-it. Now, all you just need to do is, let me bring in some URLs here. And yes, this is where you need to stake your it. When you come to Holisky Launchpad of Ethereum, this is where you stake your 32-it for you to be able to start validating as a node operator. So become a validator. This is the page. You can always search for it. Holisky Launchpad, Hoodie Launchpad, Gnosis Launchpad. Just search for it. You would find it on the internet. But this would also be made available in the Telegram channel. So become a validator. Let's just click on this. I've read through this, so there will be no need reading through it, but make sure you read through this and you know what this is. Let's just continue. Okay. Continue. I've read all this, accept, and continue. Good. So this is just trying to know what setup you have. So we have Bosu, and scroll down, continue. Make sure you read all those documentation. You have Teku selected, and let's continue. Paste the chosen withdrawal address for this. So we can now open our MetaMask, which is what I'll be using. I'll copy this. So I'll copy this and then paste this here. So this is what I'll be using for the withdrawal address. And then regular withdrawal, compounding withdrawal, whichever one you want. Feel free to select the one you want. Maximum effect balance 32-it, regular gasless withdrawal of any balance over 32. It can be migrated to compounding later. Allow for automatic compounding of reward, whichever one you want. So this is it. You are staking 32 Holiski, not it. Let's be specific. And yeah, I have mine on Linux, and as you can see, I'm just rushing through this because I've read through it. So make sure when doing this, make sure you know what you're doing and just read through them. It's pretty much simple. We have been talking about it. So this is it. How do you want to generate your keys? GUI, you can use the CLI and build from source. So this is where I would pause a bit. For doing this, just for this tutorial, for this workshop, you would actually be seeing the process. But when it comes to actual staking, first of all, you need to take your system offline after downloading the software, which we'll be doing. But I can't take my system offline, and hence I will disconnect from the call. So you need to be very careful at this junction when generating your validator key, because anyone that has the seed phrase or your deposit keys and all that can have access to your 32it, and they can easily just withdraw it or tamper with the system. So this is the process for what? Generating your validator key. So you can go to GitHub, which is this here. As you can see, this is what we have here for having your validator key. Let's bring up our Stereum. So this is still setting up. As you can see, we have our validator keys. Make sure to scroll down to this part, assets. So if you're on Windows, you're on Mac, they all have, this is for Windows, this is for Mac, and this is for Linux. So this was what I actually downloaded here. So when you click on it, you actually get to download. So I already have that in order to save time. So I can clear that. And as you can see, you can follow the steps here. Pretty much the same thing. So we'll be doing that. You just get that, open, select the network, which would all be doing, and then get your file set. This is it. We can continue. So this is the part. Let's now go back and generate our file. Let's now create a new terminal. Speed into downloads. And now, if I should ls, as you can see, I have this. Here also, let me zoom this a bit so you could see. I also have that of Gnosis chain, as you can see. So if you decide to run Gnosis chain or mainnet, that's also cool. But for me, I'll be making use of this. So we could generate either Holiski or on Houdini network. Next, if you could remember, for Linux users, make sure you do this plus X, then we just made it executable, then \w, then --no sandbox. And this should spin up the GUI, which is this. So this is how we create our validator keys. I'm doing this again. As you can see, it says internet detected. This is just for learning purposes. Never do this online. Never do this on a connected system. Just for security reasons, just for you to be more secure. Next, as we can see, create new secret recovery phrase or use an existing one. So if you already have your validator key, you can regenerate all the other files that we would have now. You can also regenerate it in case you lose them, or probably your system got crashed. So you can also regenerate them again and have them back online. What we'll do, create a new key. This is mainnet. We need to select Holiski testnet. We click on OK. If I'm moving too fast, please, you can just tell me to go back, probably a bit back, and explain forward. So yeah, feel free, please just unmute and speak. As you can see, all this step, numeric phrase and a set of validator key and all this, very important to keep both secret. So I've read this several times, but please do well to read it. And now we are generating what? Our recovery phrase. So you are not meant to show this online. This is just for learning. I would keep emphasizing on this. So I need to copy this. Let's bring up our terminal. Okay, I need somewhere to save that. So minimize that. I've copied this, and now let's next. Make sure you back up your file. Yes, I'm sure now. Confirm your secret phrase. This is it. Let me have a place where I can store this. So let's just have our secret phrase here. Permit me to just hit enter, and then, yep. So this is where we have our secret phrase. Remember, you're meant to keep this in a secure place. This is just for tutorial purposes. Please and please never do this. Never paste your secret phrase in a terminal and never copy it. Write it down. Don't copy it and paste it somewhere else, and just write it down. Please and please. Never have your secret phrase on the internet. So let's minimize this. This is our secret phrase. Let's check. Good. So Ethereum withdrawal address optional, but let's just get that, which is our MetaMask. Copy and copy this. Stereum is still configuring. Good. And paste this. 32.8. Number of validator keys. Good. So for this, you can decide to generate 10 validator keys, 50 validator keys. But remember, the validator keys you generated here would be multiplied by 32.8. So if I'm to put in 2 validator keys here, when I get to stake on the launch pad, I would have to stake 32 times 2. That's if I'm staking both validator keys. But if I'm deciding to upload only one, so this would generate 2 validator keys. I can decide to upload only one. I would stake 32.8. When uploading the second one on the same machine, you can have multiple keys on the same machine, but you can't stake the same key twice. Please get this well and get this understanding. If you try to stake one key twice, what you're trying to do is you're trying to play the system by trying to claim smart. You want to gain double reward by using one validator key. You'll be penalized for that. So if you have a validator key already staked on the platform, don't by any means try to have it back again. Don't try to stake it back again as long as it is running. Please, let's take note of that. So for now, let's just have one key, which is 1, and then the password. I just need something simple. Let's just call it password. Oh no, okay, since for now, this is just for testing. As soon as we're done, I'm getting rid of everything. Password, why? Let me have this. I hope I remember what I saved as the password. So next, retype the password. Let's just for testing purposes, make sure you use a password you can remember, please. And yep, let's browse a folder where we could store that. So let's just use our downloads. So we'll store our files in the download directory, because after this, I'll be getting rid of them. So you need to look for a more secure folder and then have them there. Create. So this will generate a validator key. While this is generating, let's go into this. And yes, this is the dashboard you get. As you can see, I don't know why this is poor or this is fair. Probably my system. I have to reboot my server to get a good quality. Good. So this is what you get as soon as you are done. So all you just need to do is to click on open. As you can see, we have Bosu, we have Teku here. This is off. Let me turn this on and turn this on. By default, it's meant to be on, but probably network issues. Turn on your node. Why is that going off? Good. So let's go in. It's trying to set up. This is offline. Go back and turn this back on. So this is the GUI you get. If this is slow, we can decide to reboot the system. And so let's just reboot, sudo reboot. Let's reboot the server. Good. So let's just have the server come back on. Let's log out and select this. So while this is restarting, because probably, I don't know, I have good network here, and this is it. Our key has now been generated successful. So imagine you were not using this. Let's just assume you made use of this, right? If this was what you made use of, you actually did this yourself. Remember, we have a one-line command that actually sets things up for you. So this command actually gets you up and running, both with an execution and a consensus client. And if you could remember, there's a command for you to pass if you don't want to run a validator node. But currently what we are running is a validator node. And you can see run a node here. We can just go into official testnet and you can now follow the processes here. Running with Ethereum, running without a consensus layer, and also, so with this, you can also follow this documentation and set it up. This is it. If you don't intend on running validators on your node, you can add this. Can you see this? But if you intend to, do not add this. So what we are running is not Lighthouse. We are using Bosu and Teku, and we did not pass in the flag. I hope we are understanding the flow. So this is it. We are done and we can click on close. Let's now go into the folder. Downloads. Yes. So can you see it? We now have our deposit data and the key store. So these are the two files we would actually be using. As you can see, this part requires what? Your data, the timestamp is located in your, so this is the deposit data, which we need to upload here. But first of all, before staking, before uploading it here, you need to have it, you need to get your node synced already. So let's go back and log in. Good. So we now have a better network. Oops, Steam is behaving a bit. And we could turn this on. So while this is coming on, turn off the whole node. Let's do some experimental works. So while this is running, let's now come here. So it says drag the file to upload. So let's just drag this, which is this deposit data. So you need to go to where you generated your file and then click on it. We have a file. Next, we can now connect to our wallet. Preferably use a hardware wallet. If you're staking 32 ETH, that's much. You should have a wallet, probably even one ETH. 0.5 ETH. Make sure you have a hardware wallet. So let's go with MetaMask. Select MetaMask, and now we have network Holiski, and this is my balance for Holiski. So I have I think I got this after DEFCON. So this is Holiski. If you need some, just feel free, ask in the group. So the withdrawal address for this validator will be set to this. This is the wallet. This is the same thing as this. We can now continue. Can you see we have one validators and total amount is this. If we had generated 2 or 3, it would probably be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. If you had done that, then we have our 32 ETH. Now I understand. This is I understand software and slashing rigs. I understand transaction is not reversible, and confirm Holiski. Proceed with caution. I understand. Do not submit any transaction. Do not create yourself. Good. Wait at least 30 minutes before trying to resubmit a transaction. Good. So all this, you need to read this and confirm. Continue. And this is where I need to confirm deposit. So when I confirm deposit, waiting for wallet confirmation, MetaMask. Good. So I'll be staking 32 ETH. So this is the process. We are now doing that. So transaction started. Let's wait for it. Good. So we can now see, open this. Yep, that should come up. Let's continue. And yeah, as you can see, your stake has reached the deposit contract. You have successfully set up your one. So that is the whole process for setting up and staking your 32 ETH. So we can complete you can go into this or check any other thing you wish to go into. And yes, this is just for you to read and go through that. Let's now come back here and refresh this. So we'll just come back here and keep refreshing for us to see that. And yes, let's check. This is one validator, and yes, let's just wait for it a bit, and this should be live. Let me copy this. Holiski. Yeah, I need to copy this and become light. Holiski online. Let's just wait a bit. Good. So these are part of the things you would be facing. So we just have to keep debugging and checking what's happening. Turn this back on, and the validator key is now up. So let's just wait for this to sync up, and this. I think in the next 5 minutes, this should be up. Yep, let's just wait for it. Give it some time. So please, if you have any question or any other thing, feel free to ask while we wait for this to complete the setup. Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah, it's not a question that I want to ask, but thank you for this session, because I've been running some validator node in some blockchain, but I didn't know that they were fork of this, because it's not that I got to understand that they were built from this, whereby we upload the key, the validator, the deposit data we are in some of those blockchains, we can even copy and paste them as a JSON file or
Yes, yes.
just upload them like that. So, and then it was as in, it is still exactly that same process. So I didn't know that they are just a fork of this.
Yes,
Then
that's it.
concerning this Stereum, I don't know if I'm lagging because maybe what I'm seeing sometimes maybe 30 seconds or 45 seconds lagging behind what I'm seeing on the screen, right? So how do we know that they are on? Is it through the the green field that is at the extreme of all the sharp
Okay.
curve rectangles?
Yeah, currently, as you can see this, we have this red, because when you hover on it, you see this is syncing, is 99%. So this is
Mm,
on. So this is on, but
okay.
it's still having some issues, and this is also on. So what you do when you come here, as you can see, this is showing syncing, but the Bosu now, and as you can see, it says Teku is online. So I need to have this to be on. This, I need to check which port is actually operating on. Let me sync again from Genesis resync. So, so as you can see, it's now off. I can now turn this on because it's now green. When you also hover, the names of what you are hovering on would be showing up here. So you can use that as a guide. So it would show up down here. So if this is not syncing, I could easily or quickly just change it to Lighthouse. So and then let's just work with Red and Lighthouse. I can easily just do that if this is giving me issues, but this should work fine. Let's check the configuration. This is it. We have port 303, and so if you notice on red and here, this, so all these ports where we need to configure them and change some configuration, this is it. You can decide to change them. They are all here. So this is it. We can decide to change them here and then save, restart. This should be up. Let's check the logs. So this is how you usually debug your node. I would have loved to use, says core dump will be written default location. Yep, error port file. Let's see. Submit a bug, please. Is this a bug? JavaScript fatal error being detected. Okay, that's why. I think we can change this. Let's change. Let me give this one more try, then I'll change it. Probably I'm having Java issues, and yeah, I can simply just change this. Let's see. So for you to be able to edit your node and then change this configuration, we can simply just come here and then set up one. This is it. And yes, so this is this tool. I can decide to change this, edit. As you can see, anything you keep doing, just keep checking down here. It would actually show you what you are doing. So switch client. Let's now select, I don't know if Nethermind and Teku is a good combo, but Nethermind and let's try Nethermind. Select from source, it's Teku, confirm. And let's see if Nethermind and Teku would actually be a nice fit. So after selecting that, you just wait for it to switch the client. So while that is happening, let's come back here and refresh this. Okay. Let's continue. So this is just some things, just think I'm not reading this. If you use a validator client Grafana, add the personal touch block. You need to see beacon node, which is this. It still brings us here, pasting this. So let's just wait for it a bit. That should be up and switch client. So let me change that. Actually made a mistake. Nethermind, select it staker and confirm. So we can confirm changes, and this should start changing from Bosu to Nethermind. So I think the system is having issue with the JavaScript runtime, as you can see from the log. So that is how sometimes you debug these things. Like for me, the one we have on mainnet, I actually installed some testnet on it, so it actually crashed the system, the whole setup. So I had to like configure, turn off, turn on, and yeah. But the good thing is we have it online. So if you also check on the Telegram group, let me get that. There's a channel for Gnosis chain. Let me get the link and drop it so you see what we are trying to access. Where's the group? Yes, good. And Gnosis chain. Good. Let me get this. So this is the link. So what we are trying to access here, which is what we are still waiting for, this is what it would look like. So this is your dashboard where you see how your node is performing, it's active. This is the balance. For you to be 32 ETH, but on Gnosis chain, you can stake as low as 1 GNO. And this is the effectiveness of how good it is. And you can see this is your reward. So for validating, this is your reward. So this is how the dashboard would look like. And as you can see, this is your rank. The smaller the rank, but still waiting for that. Stay not on. So this is how the dashboard would look like. So as you can see, this is mainnet. This is it. So that is how you would actually see, see that as soon as you're done staking, and then you have your validators running. So let's just wait for this. So it's processing. I don't know if Nethermind and Teku is a good combo, but let's hope it's a good one. Else we'll just go with Nethermind and Lighthouse. Let's see. So any question before we continue? So this is it. It's still verifying. Let's just give it some few times, and yep. So this is done. Let's go back to our node and see. So Nethermind should, let's check the logs. Syncing, good. So Nethermind is actually syncing. So let's see, it's doing good. So this is performing better than initially. Had an issue with Bosu, but I would have loved to use Bosu here. So as you can see, this is much better. So as soon as we have this synced, let's just assume. So as you can see, it's syncing. There are no errors. You can see this is 2 and this is 4. This is the pair count. So this is discovering other system, or other system are discovering your own node. So and we have 2, we have 4. So this is looking good. All we just need is the Nethermind to get to 99%, and then both of them would actually sync. So as you can see, this is it. I think my server is having issue with JavaScript, with Java. That is why Bosu was unable to run. Probably it tried installing Java and then there was an error. But as you can see, this is looking good. Everything, it's now online. And yeah, so if you have this, by the time you let this run for like probably maybe just 30 minutes, this should be sync, but there will be no time for us to stay on the call for this to sync. All you just need to do is to click on this staking. This is where you find your validator keys. So as you can see, it says no validator key imported. So you can either drag and drop or you can click here to upload. So if I'm to click here, I now need to select the validator key, which is this, not this one, what you are selecting. So if you remember in the process of generating a validator key, we were given an option of generating either 1 or 2 or 3 or any number. If you chose 4, this key store here would be 4. So then for each of them, you have deposited 32 each, right? But for this now, we just have only 1. So you select it. If you have 4, you have to select the 4. That's if you will be staking for the 4, you have to select the 4. And then, but for now, you shouldn't do this until your node is synced. So as soon as you're done, you just select, let's see what's the percentage count. Still 0. Yeah, this should be syncing. Bosu should have synced a bit faster. The other nodes that actually works fine with Bosu, I can't actually use them on the core. I think Red and Lighthouse should have been synced by now. So, but yeah, let's just give this a bit. Nethermind, let's see what's the log. Let's see. So this is the log here. Syncing. Let's just wait for it. 4%. This header. Ooh, this might take a big time. So but I hope you all understood and you got the gist of it. So this is it. As soon as both of them are 100%, probably in the next 10-20 minutes, all you just need to do, click on staking, click on this, select your key store, and then you can open, and this is it. I can decide to get rid of this, insert another import key and all that stuff, so we can get rid of that. Where are you? Let's see if this is Poliski has been a bit slow. No, don't do this to me. So this would actually take some time, and then as soon as it's done, you can also see this key here, and let's just get rid of this. So this is our dashboard. Let's now go into monitoring. Good. So this is our node, and yes, we now want to monitor our node. This is Grafana. Let's go into it. It says local application. Open up your server on your local machine. Let's open that up, and we should have Grafana running. So this is what you discussed on Monday, monitoring your node. With this, you can always just show up here and check the performance of your node. Let's go to dashboard and see what do we have. We have Nethermind and Teku. Let's look at Netherminds and see. The traffic pair is 2, block number, this is still syncing, all these are 0, still syncing. Let's go back to Teku, no data yet. Let's come back. This is the system performance. Yep, and not this. Nethermind. Let's come back to this and also open this one. Let's see, what do we have here? This is the query for, this is what is indexing your node. Connection, data source, and let's explore. Server, localhost, good. Let's check this one more time. So as you can see, this is what we have, Nethermind, Teku. You can just keep observing the system performance. So as soon as it's synced, everything here would be reading, counting, all this would be moving, and yeah, you can see the performance of your block. Syncing pairs, as we can see, we just have 2, and you can see the state of the system. This is your dashboard using Grafana. Let's go back to the node and oops, this is still not up. Don't know why Nethermind is a bit slow, but I think should we go with Reth? Reth should be synced. Let's change this to, let's see what's the percentage. Just for theme. Old headers 15. So let's just see, okay, 16. So this should be done in probably 10 minutes. So let's just give it some more time, just 10 minutes, and then we should have something to work with. While this is still also in the process. This is still not here, but I'll drop the link in the group. Let me drop that now. So if you wish to check that out, you can just click on the link. And also, I'll not be having this link live. Teku version, pair count 11, good. Beacon chain, network participation rate, client software participation rate, and yeah, you can see the performance of the node. So this is how you can monitor your node and see it. As soon as it's synced, all these other blank data attestation, it's not yet attesting, all these would now be active. Any question? Let's now interact while we wait for this. So this is the whole setup for, this is how you would actually do it, including mainnet. But for the security reasons why generating your private keys, you have to go offline. So this is the full setup for having your nodes on up and running. So please let's interact while we wait for this to sync completely.
Okay, I want to ask this question. Maybe the question is a dumb question anyway, but I will say ask it because I want to get clarity on it. So,
Okay.
if I'm on a window and then normally I'm using WSL, and most of every other thing that comes up from any side that asks me to select Ubuntu or Linux or Windows, I normally end up selecting Ubuntu. That is, I'm going for Linux. Then in this class or in this class or in this tutorial, when you were to select the system you are on, should you still go to for Windows or you go for Linux?
No, just go for Windows. If you have all your setup on Windows, or sometimes when you
No,
select those things,
if all my
yeah, come
setups
again.
are through WSL, that is Ubuntu. I'm using
Okay,
Ubuntu as
Ubuntu. Okay, yeah, WSL on Windows, right?
yeah, because my natively my machine is a window, then but through WSL and Ubuntu, I think they are now Linux. So if I'm selecting on all these sites, what should I go for? Should I go for Linux or Windows?
Linux. Just go for Linux. So
Okay.
Linux,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that.
That's
Then
good.
my second
It's not.
question.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my second question is I was I was on a chat GP asking a certain question that you a certain question based on what you said here, and then I missed how you're spun up that Grafana Prometheus. So I'm wondering if they automatically, as in being a tool for you to view a dashboard for you to view the node on Stereum, or is there any other connection between them?
Okay, no, Stereum does the connection for you. It's done automatic. So all I just needed to do was to click. Oops, we are now having issues here. Was to click on Grafana or Stereum. So it does that automatically for you.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Just a few seconds of lack of focus, and I missed that. Thank you.
Okay, let me change this. I think I'll just change this to um Lighthouse.
And I'm also wondering, is there any initiative for NodeBridge Africa to maybe host some real life classes for this? As in maybe across different states that are willing, that have some maybe some workspace to use, and then other this thing. I don't know if this is also an initiative that NodeBridge Africa are considering, or maybe a new idea for them to consider having in real life a tutorial on this. I believe this thing that we are doing for 6 or 8 weeks, I believe in real life it may just take 1 week if it is to be done consecutively on that site. I don't know if something like that
Yeah,
exists.
yeah, we actually did one in Kaduna. So it's something that, including the node, not just the workshop, for every state we'll be visiting, would actually show up with a node, and then after that we set it up. And yeah, so it's an initiative that NodeBridge is looking into. So it would be done pretty much soon. So for now, it's Lagos. We now have it in Kaduna, Mina. So it's a gradual process, but hopefully this year it would move faster than usual. So yeah, we'll be having real life events,
Okay, hoping
in
to
person
see you guys.
events.
Hoping to see you guys in Anambra, at least do this in real life and then also set up another also.
Oh, that'd be great. Nice. That'd be great. So any other question? I'm trying to change the consensus clients. We should have just gone with Nethermind and Lighthouse. But I just wanted to try Bosu and Teku, which actually synced on other system. But yeah, this on this current server having JavaScript Java issues. So sorry about the delay. Any question? We're about coming to an end. I'll drop this link in the group as soon as it's synced. The deposit is done. I would notify you all to check it out. Stereum. So this is the configuring, and yes, we done. Yes, so that's the whole process for setting up your node. As you can see, this would actually change. So it was Teku, but it will change to Lighthouse. As you can see, we can also configure the alert system, which would not be doing here. And yes, let's change this to Lighthouse. Confirm. Oops, sorry. Lighthouse, confirm. And yes, let's also change that to Lighthouse. So it will be Nethermind Lighthouse and Nethermind Nimbus. I just remembered. For Nethermind, the combo is usually Nimbus, but Lighthouse is also very good. So do we have any question? This is how our dashboard would look like. If your system is off, this would actually be inactive. As soon as you come back online, this would be active. And yes, this is what we have. Any question? So as you can see, it has now changed to Lighthouse. So this is our Lighthouse. Let's see. Reset memory. Let's go back. Checking more data. Nothing yet. Let's go back and check. Nothing yet. Lighthouse summary, and this, as soon as this is done, we should have our application up. So we are almost coming to an end. This is still running like that, and let's check Nethermind. So our pair count is now 3. So this is actually moving. That is moving. Syncing processing time. As you can see, it's actually moving. So syncing pairs is now 3, which is looking good. CPU time, JSON RPC, and yeah. So let's just check this. Good. Go back and sync this. So this is it, and this is how to set up your node. So this should be back on, and we are good to go. Remember, when you want to add your validator keys, you just select the key you want, and as soon as you're done, you can continue with the process. You can also put in the URL. Those are different methods for doing that. Taking time to sync. Check the logs.
Okay, yeah, I noticed something from the dashboard. So let me see out. As in below, on top of all this, on top of the IP, I can see Obo. Does it mean that you are using Obo to do this?
No. That's the user name on the system. I have a user called Obo on the server.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just the name. Yeah.
Okay, so if we are doing this on a visual server, and then when we want to log in, then we log in with the details of our visual server, right?
Yes, yes. Just the way we did at the beginning. This is
Okay.
here. This is the server name, the machine name, my IP address port, and this is my username. So the machine name is Obo, and this is my user. There's a user called Osha on the machine. So this is it. This should have synced here on the call. But yeah, subsequent classes, we might just sync this before joining the call, and then we just go forward. So Friday, we would go in depth or probably have another workshop. Stay tuned in the group. We'll drop a message notifying you to join with your system so we could set up these things ourselves and also connect Grafana and play with other tools. So Friday, stay tuned, get prepared because we'll be going in depth. So I think we have come to the end of today's session. So, yep, we are done for today. Thank you all for coming and do have a wonderful night rest.
Yeah, GM, thank you. Thank you.